Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here from Corrine Crafts. I hope you are well. I've got a really simple project for you today. Here is the card. Can you see? Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? What I wanted to show you is how to control the area that you put your texture paste or your inks or your glitter paste or whatever through your stencil. So we're going to make a frame to use with our stencil, and this is the project that I have made from that. So I've got hexagon, then with hexagons in the middle. I love that. There you go. So that is today's project, and I'm just going to dive straight in and show you how it's made. So my purpose for this tutorial was looking at stencils. Sometimes it's quite hard to control where you put whatever medium you're putting through your stencil. So I wanted to have a go and experiment at seeing if I could control where my medium went through my stencil. So really simply, I've got a piece of off-white linen card, really nice there, 4.5 by 6 inches in size, and then I've taken a scrap of craft card. Now I've cut 2 layers, you can just see on there, it's 2 layers thick, glued them together, and I've just used my hexagon dies. Now I use my tattered lace hexagon dies. I don't know if I can even find them now, and I know, oh there they are, and I used number 17, which is somewhere around here, 16 there, 17, so it's this one just here. Ooh, there we are. I use that one to cut through. You see, it's even got the tape still on, and that's where the sort of size. So it's almost middle of the road of the dies. So that's given me like a frame. So what I thought I would do is I would lay that onto my card. Now, because it's not see-through, it's hard to see when you've got it centered. So you just have to sort of trust your instincts. So the other way to do it is to make your card a little bit bigger, which is what I did the first time, and then cut it down. And then once you've got that there, I'm going to put a piece of tape on. Now the great thing is these are just disposable. You can get rid of them when you've finished, or you can try and clean it up a bit like I've done. So once I've done that, I'm then going to lay my stencil over the top. Now what you can see I've done is I've got my stencil, my frame, so I've got the straight edge top and bottom, and when I put the hexagon stencil over, I've got it in the same orientation. For me, that was quite important. So you could be doing this shape underneath, it could be a circle, it could be whatever size, but I just thought it would be a bit of fun to have a hexagon inside a hexagon, or hexagons inside a hexagon, if that makes sense. I just thought that would be a little bit of fun. So once I've got that there, I'm then just going to get another piece of tape, and I'm just going to put that through here just to hold that stencil down. And then I'm going to get my medium. Now this could be glitter paste, it could be like I've got here, a high density paste, a modelling paste, your Mod Podge, whatever you want it to be. And all we're going to do is we're just going to pop it through here. Now I've got 2 layers of the craft, so it's letting me go quite deep. So what you can do is, why do I keep doing that when I do these videos? I always put it over to that side. So what I can do is I can put it on like this and go over the top of the square, the hexagon, the frame, and then just pop it through. I've got a lump. Ooh, don't want that. Let me get rid of that. I think that's got rid of it. And then we can just put this on here. Now I don't want smooth. That's the last thing I want. I want it to be sort of a bit rough and ready. So once I've got it covered through, I'm holding everything tight, then I can just sort of tap it down. And you can always take off any excess if you want. And I just want that to be textured. We are doing texture paste after all. I'll make sure it's done them all. Right, there we go. So when I lift that off, you can see I've got those gorgeous hexagons underneath. And then I've just put the lid on that. And then, oh, just try and find space for everything. And when I peel this one off, look at that. This bit now, you can clean up or you can get rid of it. It's entirely up to you. And that now has given me a hexagon of hexagons. So that needs to dry, and when it's dry, this is what you get. So I could have perhaps positioned it a bit better. I've got a couple of little stray ones here. If you wanted to, you could just sort of scrape those off. It's up to you, but there we go. So that is what I've got next. Not very inviting, but I thought I could make that a little bit better. So I've just left that to dry an hour or so. It really hasn't taken too long at all. So all I'm going to do is I've got my shimmering watercolours. Let me make sure my brush is clean. I think the last thing I did in this was the gold. There we go, right. Okay, so I'm going to use a bit of gold seam and a bit of honey. Now I'm using my Moonbeam, which were designed to be able to be used on white and black cardstock. So the great thing about these is the more you mix the water in, the more you're going to get. So I'm mixing these two together. You could even bring a bit of that one, which was sunflower, and just bring them all together. This one's a bit grainier. And then all I'm going to do very roughly is just paint it over the top. I just want it to go all over, but again, not perfect. Once it's finished, you'll see it really does work. I want it to come low, I want it to come above, I want it just to pop on there like that. You can always dab a bit off if you need to, but just let it cover those bits. It doesn't look too, see, like I say, you can always dab a bit off if you need to. Once it's got like that, what I then want to do is I'm going to bring in my sophisticated paint station, and I'm going to pop that there. I'm going to go straight in with this side, and then I'm going to get this, and then I'm going to just mix them up. You can just see me mixing it there. Then I'm just going to put a few splats over. Once you start to do that, it really does come to life. If you need to just add on, just cover up, so you don't want it to be completely covered, but can you see as it dries, it just seems to, it holds better on the Mod Podge type or the density paste rather than in the background. But I want it to sort of bleed through to the background as well. But I don't want it to be perfect. I don't want to cover them perfectly. Oops, there we go. That's all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to leave that to dry. So let me move that out of the way. I've got bits stacking up now. And when it's dry, it looks like, look at the shimmer. Isn't that gorgeous? That has been drying for 10 minutes, no more than 10 minutes. And I'm going to pop that onto a card base. We're nearly there. This is so nearly finished. So I took a card base. It was for a 7-inch envelope, and I just trimmed it down a little bit. And I'm just going to pop that in there. And I'm just using some lovely gold mirror card. And if you wanted to, what you could do is you could take the centre out. It's entirely up to you. And that goes there. So I've got my gold on first. And then I'm going to, as you've seen me do a few times, I'm going to layer the cream on top of the cream, which is what I like to do. And I've put red liner tape on the back. And I put red liner tape on the back because this isn't watercolour card. It's just regular linen card. I had to go out and buy some new linen card because I was running low. I wanted just some off-white. So it's not really designed to take water. So it does try to buckle a little bit with the density paste and the gold. So I'm just going to pop that on there. If you struggle to line it up, cut your bottom layer a little bit bigger and then trim it down once they're on there, because remember, red liner doesn't let you, isn't forgiving at all. So we can put that. I just love that little extra white line around the outside. And then on here now, I've used shaker foam, and you know what, the minute I put it on, I thought I should have stuck to my sticks 2, but I wanted something with a little bit of height. I should have just put 2 layers of sticks 2 on, shouldn't I? Much firmer. This is shaker foam, so it's designed to be softer so that it can go round bends so you can do your shaker cards. I hope it's going to be firm enough. I've used shaker foam for years, but since I've been using the sticks 2 one, I've just got used to the strength of it. Up. That was lifting up. And then this is going to go on there like that. Doesn't that look effective? Really like that. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that to set. So I found my duo dies. As I always say to you, please dig deep. You'll be surprised at what you've got. And I wanted to cut that out of, do you remember this? Printable Sumi paper. Obviously you can see we used to sell it on Create and Craft, and it's designed for you to, when we were doing USBs and things with images on, you got it and you can see this side you could put through your printer. Really, really useful. You sort of should stick it onto some copy of paper and then pop it through your printer. Really clever. But this is so fine, if I tried to die cut it, it wouldn't work. So I found a really, really good way to do it. What I would do is find the size of my die, cut a piece of my Sumi paper, just like that. And then I'm going to pop it on. So that's a scrap of watercolour card and that's a scrap of just copy paper. And I'm really bulking it out. You don't need to tape it down. Nothing's stuck to each other. But I've just put something underneath the Sumi paper to give the die something to grip onto, some sort of purchase. If you just have the Sumi paper, it won't cut through. You'll have lots of bits where you'll need to weed it out and they'll be stuck. But put some extra layers in. It's not going to go through all those layers, but that's absolutely fine. So if I look at that, look, it hasn't gone through those back layers, but when I peel, that's the top layer of Sumi paper off. It's pressed them together, it's compacted them together, but it's cut through the watercolour layer. There we go. It hasn't cut through the back layer. And then, let me move this out of the way. It just takes a minute or two, but what I can then do, because it's not glued, it's only the pressure that's holding the two layers together. I'm going to do it from the back. I've got to find an in. I can see an in here. I can see an in. There you go. That's all I needed was an in. Now remember, they're not glued down. It was just compressed together. So then all I need to do is peel that off. Believe you me, I've had lots of different ways of practicing this today to make sure it cuts perfectly. And this one, actually, most of these will pop out because it's cut through. But I don't need that for now. That's a bit heavy. But look at that. Look at the delicacy on that. That has cut absolutely perfect. Now, if you want to, you could... I tell you what I could do. I'm not going to put any water on my brush. I'm just going to use the water that's left on here. And I'm just going to go... I should have thought about this and done this earlier, shouldn't I? So it had time to dry. But this was a spur of the moment thought. So you can see how my brain works when I'm making projects. Sort of go off on a tangent sometimes. But that's okay, because that's what we all do. Just down the centre. You can always come out to the edge if you... Oh, look. Doesn't that... Yes, that elevates that. That's lovely. I'm really not using any water. Those paints are drying up nicely. But there, that is perfect. I've lost my water pot. There it is. There we are. Okay, so now I've got that. I'm going to take this. Definitely a job for the precision glue gun, isn't it? It's a screw Corrine, not a pull. And now you can see it really is use what you've got. Now, it's going to look a little bit different as this because it's very, very delicate. But there we go, like that. And then, and I had it here 1 minute ago, I've done myself a sentiment. And I've just done never let go of your dreams. And it's just one of those stick-on ones. And it's very, very dainty. But I just thought it worked really well. So let's do that with some wet glue. Let's put that, oh, sorry, just down there. I forget sometimes to check where it is. And then what I thought, now I'm going to have to trial this because I haven't got this far with prepping. I've got some couple of gold sequins. Actually, they might be all right. They look a little bit dull in the bag. But let's have a quick look if I place a couple on and see how they look. Oh yeah, they look all right. So sequins, obviously they're not adhesive. We're going to do 3, I think. 1. Come on, let go. Oh, they're not squeezy tweezers, Corrine. I'm trying to squeeze and let go, and let's do 2. Let go. And then we'll do the third one just here. There we go. And the third one goes just, oops. If you haven't got sequins, use gems. If you haven't got gems, you don't need to do anything. And that is my, I don't know, does that class as clean and simple? I guess it doesn't really, does it? It's not really clean and simple, but it's pretty, whatever it is. My absolute gorgeous sort of little bit of texture paste on the back is all about using one sort of frame to create control with the stencil. I've got my lovely sentiment, that one goes there. I've got my lovely Sumi paper or rice paper and butterfly. If you haven't got that, if you've got some natural paper, that'll do, or just regular. You could just do it with copy of paper if you wanted to, just something a little bit more delicate. But there you go, that is today's card, and I hope you like that. I've enjoyed doing that. I've done a few little different ones just recently, and I've been really enjoying it, so I hope you like that too. Thank you for watching. And I hope you are enjoying these tutorials and you're getting some inspiration. I'm trying to make sure we keep doing different things so that it's not all the same as, and everything, you know, you get some different ideas. So until next time, thank you for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe, and I'll also click some other videos for you to look at. And obviously, as always, there's plenty of links at the bottom for you to click. I'll put the texture paste and everything on there that I can find. Oh, and this linen card, because I got that off Amazon just recently. All right then, thank you for watching, and I will speak to you all very soon. Bye for now.